It's blue. The stories never said it was blue. The Kelid chieftain stood on a rise, overlooking the smoldering, ruined devastation of the area soon to be known as the Fell Dales. But he wasn't looking down. He was looking up. There, above him, miles above him, there was a hole in the sky. Ragged, roughly circular gouge was torn into the ever-present roiling cloud cover, and the hole was blue. He'd heard stories about the sky before the darkness came, about when the sun was more than just a pale disk barely visible through the clouds, about the moon, some sort of strange double of the sun that only appeared at night and changed shape with the seasons, and about the stars, the twinkling lights that filled the night sky. But the stories never said it was such an incredible blue. He'd seen the opening before, just after the great earthquake that drew him here to begin with. He saw the stars raining down en masse, but he hadn't seen it during the day. When the reports started coming in from the various other tribes, and even from some of his own scouts about what those stars really were, he felt he had to see it for himself. He'd been feeling a strange emptiness lately. He felt the earthquake, the raining stars, all of it was some kind of sign. So he came, alone. The rest of the tribe didn't like it. This was orc territory. And the green-skinned monsters from the deep had already killed more than their fair share of his people. But he had to see one with his own eyes. And there, below him in a massive crater, was a sky ship. He hadn't believed the reports, that the stars falling from the sky were in truth great boats, made entirely of metal and propelled by flame, but that thing below him could be nothing else. It was easily 300 feet long, maybe 50 feet wide. It had broken cleanly in half on impact, and thick, acrid black smoke was bellowing out from the cracked center. What looked like bodies, huge bodies covered in some kind of strange armor the same gray-green as the hull of the ship, lay strewn about the wreckage. As he stared down, the Kelid suddenly heard a sound behind him. He spun around, but he wasn't fast enough. "You idiot! You let yourself get distracted!" The orc, a towering behemoth nearly 7 feet tall, let out a bellow and swung at him with a massive warhammer. The Kelid got his sword up in time to block the blow, but the force of the impact lifted him clear off his feet and threw him over the edge of the cliff. The Kelid chieftain screamed as he tumbled backwards into space in what he was sure was his certain death. This is Pod Against the Machine.
Pod Against the Machine.
Welcome back to Pod Against the Machine, the only Pathfinder actual play podcast that will drink your milkshake. We'll drink it up. I'm your host, and here's everybody.
How is your
Hello.
Daniel Day, Lewis, going?
Hey. Cool. Hang on. Sorry, that was the door.
Oh, I thought it was a car honking.
Nice.
Or like
This
a
is-
clown.
I thought there was
That's
a
good.
person saying, "Hey."
Sad horn.
Man,
I just had to jump in and say, if it is dairy-free and soy-free, I will absolutely imbibe the milkshake.
wow. Yeah,
I
that
think
was
if I
one of
remember
our
the movie correctly. It was
smoothest.
filled with oil.
And blood. I believe there
I'm
was
gonna-
also
yeah.
blood.
I'm going to go to Burgerville and get a Coconut Bliss milkshake, the Portland cold brew. I'll be back in like an hour. It's your fault, Sam.
Hey, blame whoever made the joke last time. When last we left our heroes, they had fought for their lives in the Clockwork Chapel in the middle of the night as they were attacked by a dark stalker and a couple dark creepers. It went pretty poorly for a while as it was very, very dark. But after a while, they managed to rally. Dinvaya came out with the key heals, and the party was triumphant. And then, they went back to bed, as you do after you're almost assassinated. And in the morning, they set off for parts unknown, namely the last part of Scrapwall that they haven't been to, the Haunted Canyon. As they approached the Haunted Canyon, thick fog settled in as the looming walls of garbage kind of get closer and closer, and everything gets mighty creepy. And that's where we are now. Something has suddenly burst forth in front of you. It's a ghostly skeletal figure hanging just off the ground amidst a whirling cyclone of tools, bits of scrap, and the odd thing about this skeletal figure is it's wearing, it looks like a sort of androphyn suit of armor or some kind of weird, very bulky clothing, but that's all torn to pieces and hanging about. One of its limbs is hanging off, and it just looks like it's been dead for a long, long time. And it's just kind of hanging there in front of you. And while it's hanging there, there's all these whispers coming through the air, speaking in Androphyn. As they're whispering in the wind, you can pick up phrases here and there. It sounds like things like, turn back, run from here.
Asher will just kind of look at the spectral person and say, Paladin, and see if he gets mad like Algernon did, because that's all his most recent ghost experiences.
This one doesn't freak out at you. It doesn't attack when you say Paladin. It's just kind of hanging there, and after about 6 seconds, it does fade from view, but the stuff is still flying around there. But the thing itself is missing.
Can we roll anything about it? I just wanted to, I meant to jump in before it evaporated and we weren't able to. Can we roll a knowledge religion or anything on that?
Yeah, you can roll a knowledge religion. That is the perfect thing to roll.
Excellent.
Okay, dirty 20 for Asher.
Well, 20 is plenty to identify this thing as a poltergeist. It's a fairly common undead creature. They're generally angry spirits that form from the souls of creatures that, for whatever reason, were bound to a site in death. Maybe due to an unfinished task, or because of a powerful necromantic effect in the area, a desecrated gravesite, that sort of thing. A poltergeist experiences great trauma over its condition, and trauma twists psyche to evil and fosters an overall hatred of the living that's usually expressed in outbursts of rage. Poltergeist is bound to a specific place, either a building, a room, recognizable area, typically corresponding to the resting place of its mortal remains or its place of death. With a 20, you can get a couple questions, but I think, do we have any other rolls?
Another 20 here.
And a 26.
Ooh.
Well, between the three of you, I think you can get pretty much everything. So what are you interested in?
Probably special abilities would be the first thing, right? Anything they can do that a normal ghost can't.
Yeah, I would say abilities, then attacks, then defenses, probably.
Well, their main special abilities are a frightening appearance when they are naturally invisible, but they can voluntarily drop their invisibility temporarily, which forces any creature who sees them to make a will save. So you're all actually do a will save. I'm just writing that They do rejuvenate after they're destroyed, unless you can determine the reason for their existence and find a way to, put them at peace. And they usually can't travel far. Their normal limit is like 120 feet, but it can vary. They have no natural means of attacking, but they do have telekinesis. They can throw objects weighing up to 75 pounds.
Do we know how long the rejuvenation normally takes? Is this like they're back in 5 minutes or they're back in a month?
It's usually a matter of days. But one thing of note is normally these are angry spirits. They lash out with violence immediately upon seeing the living, but these ones haven't. They've just sort of filled the air around you with these whispers, these whispered warnings, and they sort of appeared to you, scared all of you, so I will need will saves.
This is...
It's not a spell or spell ability. Sorry.
No, it's not.
But it is fear-based or emotion something?
It is fear-based.
Woo-woo.
What did Brixby get?
I rolled a 19 for a 24.
Brixby's fine. He ain't afraid of no ghost. How about Jeff?
Hadn't rolled this Holy Nexus dice from Cozy Gamer in a long time, and it rewarded me with a natural 20 for a total of a 29.
Unfortunately, that's too high. You're double scared.
So willful.
Hate to see it. That bell curve gets me every time.
And Kira?
22. 15 on the die, 5 will, plus a +2 for Sky Metal Smith feat that I've used all of 2 times.
Well, you're once again not frightened. And how about Vargas? Jero's having mic issues. But he did type in the chat that he got a 17 on die, so he's not afraid either.
It's bizarre that the description of the poltergeist itself is that it is twisted by hate and anger and possibly bound to the spot of its murder or something significant for it. But in this case, at least for the folks that are fluent in Androphan, they appear to be whispering words of warning. So...
Let it be.
Brixby will quietly to the back of the party. They seem to be speaking to us in the tongue of the stars. Asher, do you want the linguistic practice, perhaps?
Well, certainly. I'll admit that my previous attempts to have discourse with ghosts was unsuccessful, to say the least, but that was uncommon. Perhaps Androphan will be another story. Having heard some of the whispers, Asher will think for a minute and envision the letters on the note pages that Brixby had scrawled and kind of clear his throat and say, "Hello, spirit. I am called Asher Halich, and I mean you no harm. You speak of some thing, some it, that betrayed you, that controls things that cannot be escaped, but please, we perhaps can help you. What is it?" And I'll roll a diplomacy into the void.
Go for it.
You know, you never ride the hot hand. If a dice rolled a nat 20, you don't roll it again. Because if you do, it rolls a 4, which becomes, a 15, but still just par for the course.
And this thing, which is no longer visible, but like the floating tools in the air where it was are sort of moving to and fro, and it whispers back in perfect Androphan, "Save yourselves!"
Save ourselves from what? Please, tell us.
It controls everything. It's gone mad. Flee. Flee for your souls.
Is this a being? Is it technology?
And I think that you, with the various successful knowledge religion checks, know that these things are, they're twisted echoes of spirits, and they don't have a ton of intelligence to them. But they seem to just have this sort of visceral urge to run away from some perceived threat, even if they can't articulate exactly what that threat is any longer.
Does it seem odd to us with the knowledge checks we made on Poltergeist that it would be like this, like that it's like giving warnings and that it like hasn't gone hostile yet? Like that doesn't seem to mesh very much with what you told us after the roll. Like I was expecting this thing to start flinging tools at us about 20 minutes ago, not to be giving us these vague warnings and hints.
Yeah, absolutely. These things are not behaving like you would expect poltergeists to behave.
Yeah, I think Vargas will even say, something is wrong here. There's quite a few ghosts in Numeria. This creature appears to be a poltergeist, but I've never seen one act like this. It's non-hostile. I've never seen one do this. It's unnerving.
And at this point, more of them are coming into view and fading back out of view, and more bits of scrap are floating up off the ground as these whispers still continue all around you, but it almost seems like they're like forming a barrier, like they don't want you to go any farther.
Do you think they're in trouble? Can poltergeists be in trouble?
I think they think we're in trouble, big stuff. But still unclear why.
And in Droffin, he'll clear his throat and go,
Spirits, we appreciate your counsel, but we must pass. Please, let us go in peace, and we will endeavor to help you find your rest.
Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide. But they don't seem to be aggressive. They don't seem to be doing anything to hinder you. Seems like you can just walk right on by.
yeah, I feel like we're having a conversation with like a Ouija board at this point.
I'm screaming at the movie, like at the screen. What are you doing? The ghosts are saying, "Don't go that way." Why are you going that way?
Yeah, go somewhere like safe, like a god's underground bunker, and fight him.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take a shower.
Yes, me and my rat girlfriend are gonna go make out over here. It'll be totally cool. But yeah, well,
It doesn't seem like they're going to stop us, but we should stay on our guard, but maybe not do anything aggressive yet.
Agreed.
I'm just gonna take this moment to put on mage armor, because that would be useful.
And that makes them kill you. They all just kill you. That was what they were warning you against.
Said don't put on that mage armor.
Oh, the mage armor just put on you.
Oh, wow, there's 6 of them now, huh?
They just keep piling up.
They don't, you can't see them persistently. Like, they'll pop up and then they disappear after a few seconds, but they're all just, floating there watching you, and they're all wearing, these high-tech suits of armor in various states of disrepair. Some of them look more like people that are rotting or are mutilated or burned than they look like skeletons, but, they're all incorporeal floating beings.
Armor that you keep mentioning, does it look like that suit with all the pockets? Does any of it look like that outfit that we found under the torch?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
What's that one called? The
panic suit?
not the panic suit, but the other one.
The station wear?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
something like that. It's definitely bulkier. And it has...
It's bulkier than that.
Yeah, it has a domed glass, helmet portion to it.
Okay, yeah, so they might be wearing it under this. We wouldn't know that though, because none of us would know about multi-layered spacesuits. But yeah, this is really creepy. And I feel like Vargas also would not be super comfortable moving forward into a place that the ghosts are telling him not to go to, but he's just going to follow along with the rest of the group.
Yeah, Asher will slowly but bravely just continue to walk forward, past perhaps the poltergeists.
Yeah, and they make no move to stop you, but the whispers just keep following you as you progress further to the northeast through the canyon, and the walls of junk kind of are slowly closing in on you as it gets narrower and narrower up in this corner, and the mist just gets thicker and thicker, and the temperature is dropping steadily. There's an unnatural cold in the air.
This is all junk, everything that's black in front of us, or do we see a door?
You see as you're approaching it, this is definitely like it's in terrible shape. There's jagged metal and scrap sticking out of it. But this looks like a ship, like a remarkably intact ship in front of you, just sitting on top of the junk here. And
Does it look like the hologram we saw under Torch? Like, does it appear to be the same kind of ship?
the make might be similar, but I mean, this is in much worse shape than that picture ever was, and it's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And there's
It's smaller.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not the same kind of ship like that's under Torch, just looks like the same builder type thing, though. Same style.
Yeah.
Just smaller.
And it looks like there is an opening over here where I'm hanging off to your right a little bit.
At first I was going to be like, are we really connoisseurs of, like, you know, crashed starship builds? And I'm like, wait, you're a Kelid. You are. That is what, like, Kelid realty is. You're like, I've got this sweet little 3-room Androthan crash site for you and your family.
Yeah, I think Vargas will actually look at this and go, It's another sky ship, isn't it? How can something like this be here? They've said that the League has already combed this place over, that there is nothing left.
Well,
And he looks back at the ghosts and then looks at the ship and, like, visibly shudders a bit. And then sets himself, looks up at Vargas and says,
I mean, I don't know if the Technical League thinks there's much of value in this picked-over garbage heap. Everything that I've heard about this place, that we've heard about this place, is that it's been gleaned, you know, picked over once, twice, 3 times more. So, I suppose when we look inside, we'll see how much technological wonder actually awaits us here.
Before we do, I wonder, we'll kind of look at the outside of the ship. I know it's sort of difficult to tell much, as you said, it's covered in scrap, but just want to do like a knowledge engineering. He's wondering too, this could be not a real ship. It could be some sort of ghostly apparition of a ship that's not even here anymore. And like he wonders if he places his hand on the outside of it, if he even feels something solid. Coming in hot with a 14 knowledge engineering.
I think that in your limited experience with these things, it looks like it's really there. It seems solid enough. It seems like it's, you know, blocking the wind. It seems like the fog is behaving like you'd expect, like sort of seeping in through the opening, but like stopping at the solid borders. It looks like it's really here.
We have seen strange things under Torch. Invisible doors, technology that works like magic. Be on your guard, friends.
Yeah, per that overgrown pincushion we encountered a few days ago, I actually want to take the precaution, set something aside for this.
he's flipping through his book, sets it out, and begins the cast. And he casts Detect Radiation. First level spell, centered on me. It's going to be on me for an hour. And it is a range of 120 feet. out from where I am. So, if necessary, you can look up the parameters of the spell and how it would let me know and what blocks what. But yeah, I think that's like Brix's precaution there.
Now, if there's any more of that material we saw in that manticore nest, the one that can make you sick, we'll know from a distance.
Very useful.
Well, so far, no pings on radiation detection.
All right, well, I'm not getting any reading on this, so maybe we head in, yeah?
Pulls out his Scorching Ray wand.
All right. Is anyone stepping in to the wreck before you?
When you say it like that. Oh, yes, everyone's
Everyone's
going
running in. And the door slams shut.
Oh yeah, I'll just take up my spot behind our
Oh,
frontliners.
well, perfect, because Vargas is still outside, so he'll just
Classic.
wander off whistling.
Bye guys.
Flashback to the elevator.
Well, as Asher and Brixby step into this sort of open atrium here, the air temperature drops 10 more degrees, like as you enter the ship. So it's close to freezing now, even though you're in Numeria at the beginning of the fall. It shouldn't really be cold yet. The metal doorways to the south and behind you yawn open, and the floor is at a slant leaning away from you, and strewn with bits of rubble, twisted lengths of metal, and the ceiling here is badly damaged and crumpled. Its gray metal shell shattered in numerous places, exposing the fog above you, and coils of rusty metal, mold-covered cables and wires all hanging down. So this thing is not intact.
But does it look like it's been scavenged?
It's very hard to tell. I mean, it looks like a wreck. It could be somebody tossed it, somebody ripped chunks off the walls, or it could be it fell here and sat for thousands of years.
Real quick, when you said moldy cables, we've had experience with mold that can turn into vegapygmies inside you in crashed spaceships. So, does this mold look familiar?
You want to roll a knowledge nature?
I do want somebody to roll that.
Indeed, he will. Through his emissary Brixby. Great use of a nat 20 for a 29 there.
Well, your nat 20 will tell you that this appears to be your more mundane mold. I wouldn't eat it, certainly, and you probably don't want to breathe too much of it in, but it's not going to climb into your chest and form a sentient being anytime soon.
That's the most I want out of my mold. It's not a whole lot to ask, but...
It's a low bar for mold to be pleasing.
Well,
assuming Asher sort of brought that up, Brixby looks at it for a moment and it's like,
yeah, I wouldn't eat the wires. But, yeah, I think it's fine for us to go through. I don't think that's the danger we're going to face here.
Excellent.
So he'll kind of keep walking.
And as you head to the south, there does appear to be some sort of flickering light source off to the southeast. Just like a flickering candle.
Like a dim murder light, yeah.
Like a little bit of
Look
a
at that,
murder
it's
light.
like a candle in the wind.
It looks like it's coming from this room straight ahead of you, but there are also doors to the north and south on this badly crumpled hallway.
the way that the map is lined up, is it like it's just a 5-foot hallway? We can pretty much only single file through that. It's just the squares are a little...
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the squares don't really line up with the map, but yeah, it's a 5-foot hallway.
Yeah, Asher, do you want to go first, or would you like me to? I know you can shoot over my head.
Well, I don't mind going first. The worst thing that could happen would be that I fire at something in melee range and provoke attacks of opportunity and nearly die.
And he'll continue forward.
And
Kind of bypassing those hallways for now, drawn to the gleaming metal before him.
And as you approach the room in the back, whatever the source of that light was, seems to wink out. And the room itself has no obvious light in it. And you find yourself in a room where the eastern half is a tangle of gray metal, strange machine parts and rubble, all of which are partially melted and scorched, like they were subjected to a source of great heat a long time ago. And they're scorched and warped and melted together. Here and there are softly glowing bits of residue caked onto bits of metal here, like little liquid pools, kind of just hanging on the metal.
Liquid, the sort that maybe one could approach and examine with a craft alchemy, or...
One could, if one were so inclined.
Yeah. Asher is so inclined. I mean, may as well kind of go back to an old skill before his inevitable and ghastly demise. Ooh, natty 19 for a 26.
Yeah, with the 26, I think you recognize this shimmering, iridescent liquid hanging on these machines as the kind of stuff old Sam Viltrette was carrying around in jars. You've got yourself some Numerian fluids. Looks like 3 doses if you
Whoa.
have anything available to collect them in, or if you just want to slurp them right off that engine.
Just put them right into the hat.
I mean, Jeff the player is Team Slurp. I don't know if Asher the character is, though.
Empty out a goo tube and suck them up.
Goomerian fluids.
Didn't the one that Sandville drank, didn't it knock his intelligence down by 8 or something like that? It's like a D100 roll or something, isn't it? And it has horrible side effects.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it's like a screwy rod of wonders, basically. I think it's like one of those, roll the dice and something real bad's gonna happen to you, or maybe something real good, but probably.
Are there? I guess there must be good ones, otherwise Sandville wouldn't have risked
benefit.
it.
There's immortality.
There's literal immortality.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll take some empty goo tube containers and fill those up, not to imbibe now, but to consider imbibing
hang on
later.
to it. Maybe we'll get some kind of item later that'll let us pick what result we want or something. That'd be cool.
Or Julie, obviously I want her rehab to succeed, but maybe she knows somebody who's under the fluids.
Let's be real. The very capable 4 tasted their first lucrative dip into the drug trade by selling all of that soothe, and we're criminals now.
I don't know what you're talking about. This melted cool machinery. I'm going to just throw a knowledge engineering to see if there's any way of ascertaining what its function may have been.
I, too, will throw a knowledge.
And again, the mistake. Dice roll good. Roll again. Dice roll bad. 18 total.
I have a 26.
I would say with an 18, it's too hard to recognize. There's just too much damage. But Brixby's seen something approximately like this in Chitterholm, maybe down in the tunnel somewhere. This looks like a small engine for a much more modest craft than most of the ships, but something that could carry a ship about the size of the one you see, probably, theoretically. Except it's, totally destroyed.
I think this is the engine room, the means with which it moves. Clearly, it's useless and destroyed at this point. So, there's not much salvaging, but, this confirms that this is another ship, in case we weren't assured by this point.
It does look like a giant space toilet for the folks at home. A little bit, too. Like a very complicated space bidet.
I was gonna say space bidet.
Like a Rube Goldberg machine of
Oh
horrors.
my god. A Rube Goldberg space bidet.
It's the title. There it is. We did it.
The question is, and it's an important one, is it powered by using the space bidet, or does the power of the machine make the space bidet function?
I think that's one of the real mysteries that the Androphans left behind.
Yeah. Truly, this is one of those iron gods we've heard about.
I wonder if this is what Helion's been seeking all this time. Can you imagine?
The space bidet right under his nose.
The fool's been digging underneath the arena. It's been right here.
Is it a sort of what you see is what you get situation in here? Would it be helpful at all to roll a perception or perhaps search the room?
You could roll a Percepti-Do or a...
I prefer a Percepti-Do. I like that. That is my preferred nomenclature. Oh, it's almost a 16. All right, that's a dirty 20 from Brixbow.
It looks like this is about it.
Anybody else see anything in here?
25?
Yeah, same.
No.
Doesn't seem like there's anything more interesting than a Rube Goldberg space bidet. I realize that's a high bar, but...
Which, yeah,
Just.
come on.
Have
It all
you,
pales.
Does a 13 somehow notice something that a 25 does not?
You totally
that bell
missed the
curve.
space bidet.
You're like, space ballet? That's great.
is there anything magical here that we're missing that you might detect? My eyes see nothing of value beyond the sheer innovation required for this machine.
Brixby forms a little cone with his hand and cones about the room. Do I get any shimmers?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I mean, we could always take more time.
Like mechanically take some time with this room later to take a 20 or whatever. Maybe not. But yeah, let's just not do it right now. I think
I don't see anything, so we should probably clear this place of any of the dangers that the scary, scary ghosts deigned were worse than them.
Agreed.
And I wonder, as a player, have the voices continued to follow us here, even onto the craft?
Yeah, it's still nice and ghost whisper. Party.
So I recently finished Breath of the Wild for the first time. Not a humble brag; it's years late. But I wonder, there's a spoiler warning. Skip 15 seconds if you haven't played that masterpiece. There's a function where, as you're nearing a shrine, the beep gets louder and louder. Have we felt like any particular direction influencing the volume or intensity of the chanting? Like,
I would say as you got closer to this ship, it got more intense, but it's kind of hasn't changed like since you've been in here. It's kind of muted by the walls, probably. It doesn't seem to be coming from inside the building.
okay.
What's that game called with the temperatures? Hot, cold, warm, cool.
Ooh.
It's the same thing as the shrine where you're like, no, don't go over there. But I can't remember the name of it. I think it's just temperatures.
Hot and cold.
Sounds right. Temperature game. All right, we can cut that part out. Adds
No.
nothing to the episode.
Brix will sidle into the one that's from the south of us.
Well, the air and
Mark is
the
going in here with you.
The air in this compartment to the south is choking and stale, and the dust here is inches thick on the ground. Nothing has disturbed this area in centuries. To the west, the wall is partially crushed and melted. It's over here, leaving a 5-foot wide, 2-foot tall gap that opens into another chamber beyond. 4 large coffin-shaped objects made of glass sit along the southern wall here. The northern
That's
pod...
not more bidets.
They're not bidets. They are coffin-shaped glass objects. Each contains a skeleton clad in fragments of a strange, bulky armor. 2 of the pods seem to be only slightly damaged. The air is thick with the smell of meat gone bad.
Do all 4 of the coffin-shaped items have skeletons in them?
Yes, but these 2 here don't look as badly damaged as the other 2.
You're just, again, setting up another horror movie trope of where we look and there are 4 skeletons, and we look away and then there are 3 skeletons.
Fair. Before drawing closer, focusing on each pod at a time, detect evil.
Yeah, you detect evil coming from the slightly more intact pods. And there seems to be something in there, not alive. But one of them looks vaguely male, and one of them looks vaguely female. They both have sort of tan skin, reddish hair, and delicate features.
Preserved enough to make a knowledge local.
Yeah.
Adjusted 19.
They don't seem to be any sort of familiar ethnicity that you know of.
Any resemblance between either the poltergeists or the skeletons and the drawings we'd seen on the cave and the torch?
Well, the drawings in the cave were very crude. The suits are kind of the same make as what you saw in the skeletons, but obviously more substantial. And, they look like dead bodies in suits. They look almost peaceful in a way.
Is this like some sort of control panel near Brixby in the other side of the room, away from them?
It looks like it probably was at some point, but it's just absolutely smashed to bits. There's nothing left to manipulate there.
The 2 of these coffin bidets that are more intact, I detect evil from within them.
Does a 22 tell us how evil? You know, accounting for the knowledge of local evil.
Of 22 knowledge local?
Yes.
And these definitely don't look like Numerian people. It seems weird that they would look so intact when the ones next to them are just degraded into total skeletons.
Kira will relay that information. It's kind of weird that they look still, well, not like the rest of the ship, right? Like, that's weird. This place is for sure creepy.
I wonder.
And Asher would kind of cautiously approach one of the ones that looks to be more destroyed, so it's not like handshake evil, just to kind of get an idea of the function of this device. Was it meant as a final resting place or more of a preservation situation? What is going on here? Can I roll double-digit knowledge engineering on the dice? Yes, I can. 26.
These appear to be, some kind of sleeping pod, basically. I think the idea is that the people inside remain protected and kind of suspended animation. But that's sort of just a guess. That's not really something that you have on Galarian.
As I say, he'll back away from the device and tell Brixby what his supposition is.
Perhaps these were meant to be occupied during the travel as a way of surviving a journey.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me a bit of the thing we found corner in, the tube, right? But, yeah, seems similar.
He seems a little distracted. He's kind of looking through that Brixby-sized hole in the wall, being the only 5 foot wide but 2 foot tall character, the walking rectangle that is Brixby rent sale.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Brixby can squeeze through that opening into another part of the ship. It seems like generally anybody could get through it, but it'd be a squeeze for anybody but Brixby.
Do I see anything just looking through with my dark vision?
Peeking through, you see like a desk with a chair, and then it looks like the room sort of heads off to the north a little bit, and there's another doorway there leading to another room.
He pulls himself back out of the hole, looks back.
It doesn't appear to have any immediate danger from this side. Do we want to all squeeze through here? Or I'm a little disconcerted by you detecting the presence of evil here.
Yeah, I'm kind of disconcerted by the whispering voices and the ghosts and that flickering light that went out when we got there. I'd say a lot of this is disconcerting.
I think the obvious answer to Asher sensing evil would be that those things in that pod are either attached to more malevolent spirits or possibly some other form of undead. Would it not make sense to just attempt to maybe smash them open before moving on and having them behind us, between us and the only way out?
There was no response when Asher walked up and examined the tubes. We didn't see any movement or anything else.
I'm just worried that the second we're squeezing down that tunnel, suddenly they're gonna pop out of there and they're gonna have us when we're stuck in a thing.
We gotta do a
Not
one
so,
person at a time squeeze. Because I feel I get that. I'm concerned that we smash them open and then they're just out in the wild, feasting on our dreams. Just like that guy from Encanto.
We don't talk about him. No, I'm kidding.
No.
The other guy.
Man, spoiled.
But to be fair, this isn't a pretty...
It's not a wide corridor to squeeze through. It's just a space or so. But yeah, I don't know about breaking them open, but if there was a way to, tap on the glass and have them, put the effort into getting out, that can at least get us ready, right? I feel like if we break them open, we're just kind of inviting their pounce, but...
Asher has an idea, and he'll just sort of address the pod, one of the two pods, and just kind of shout in Androphan,
You have arrived at your destination.
and see if there's any response. He also wonders if those mannequins that were talking about an emergency landing were referring to this ship, maybe somehow connected.
Sky metal.
Is there any response to his Androphan shout?
No, the dead bodies don't respond.
Hey, you
He
guys.
said they're dead.
So, and also when Asher went up and just straight up looked at the tank, there was no movement, no
Right, he
willies.
went right up to one of the broken ones with the total decayed skeletons in it, not the more intact looking ones.
Yes. Intentionally not going to hug a skelly.
Also, they're much more inclined to move when we're not looking, right? Kind of a Weeping Angel situation here. I think we should go through the little tunnely thing. I could say that in character. So maybe we try to go through that opening one at a time, and that way no one has to look away from these things, and that way they can't sneak up on us. Oh, I guess except for the last person. Sorry, last person.
I could go last because I can move the fastest through it, but it is really just about 5 or 6 feet to the other side. So maybe you all head through, and I'll keep an eye and go last.
5 or 6 feet is like 3 Brixby's, but okay.
It depends on which way you're talking, because, horizontally, it's just one of me.
Canonically, I'm now 5 feet wide.
Can I, before we move, can I just do a quick perception on that top room there? Just to
Heading up to
recap.
the north room.
The north guy over here.
Go for it.
28.
You're just like looking across the hallway into it.
I'll stand in the hallway and peer in. And now, hey, ghosts, if you're here, you have to tell me. That's law.
Well, it looks like there's a whole bunch of just crap and this room looks like it was burnt to a crisp at some point. Here and there, the walls like ran down like they were melted wax, and they formed slag that cooled into puddles of steel along the floor. There's debris everywhere. It looks like there might be good stuff in there. It might be all melted junk. But as you call out to the ghosts to let them know that they have to reveal themselves, they do abide by your orders.
That was kind of a tongue-in-cheek, like, hey, you guys have to let us know you're here.
3 piles of refuse on the floor rise up into the air with a sort of terrifying... I'm going to need everyone to roll for initiative.
I'm just going to back out of there and be like, nope, nothing here. I'd like to roll to close door. Okay, well
The doors are all broken. You drew their ire.
I feel like I've never, ever offered to just percept a room just for fun. And the one time, and I'm like, I'll just do a quick check. I want to murder someone.
It's probably fine.
It's probably fine.
Alright, so what did Kira get since she started this fight?
Let's say 13 on the die for an 18 total.
Alright, and standing right behind her, Brixby.
Brixby rolled a 12 for a 19.
Nice and fast, and very far away. How about Vargas?
Vargas rolled an 8 for a 10.
And the gunslinger way in the back there, hundreds and hundreds of feet away, at least 20 feet away.
At least 20. And for the second time this evening, that is a natural 20 for a 24, this time on a Dice Envy Fat Tuesday D20. DiceEnvy.com.
Alright, let me just pop some initiatives on for these nice fellas, as there are 3 piles of junk floating in front of you. It looks like basically, definitely Asher will be first, and everybody but Vargas is probably going to be before all of these baddies. So that's nice. Alright, Asher, you are up. You heard the horrible hissing sort of sound.
Did you find a cat back there? What's going on?
Asher will walk up and try and get through the hallway to see that is right on Kira Square. So he'd be able to look over Brixby's shoulder once he rounds a corner and sees this thing before him. Would a knowledge engineering help? Or is this going to be another one? Or is this a religion? What's up?
It's a religion, but you can see that these are poltergeists, similar looking, or similar behavior to what you saw before. All the junk that was on the floor in this room is flying around.
Okay.
More poltergeists. Well,
the last ones didn't attack, so he is going to, being as his weapon is mundane, he will draw retrieve from his pack the +1 auto grapnel as his standard action, and that's going to be his whole turn. Was moving up to the hallway and drawing a weapon from a bag.
All right, Brixby, you're up.
Brixby is going to, it's kind of seeing the poltergeist through the frame created by Kira's powerful muscular legs into the next room. Brixby is going to shoot off a Disrupt Undead Ray right at the jobby in front of us here. Ready, a 10 on the die. That's a 17 for a touch attack. Range touch.
Why don't you roll me a 50% miss chance, as it is invisible, even though you can tell where it is approximately.
Unfortunately, a 46, so that is low. For this game, we are doing success on the high, so it flies wide. And then with his move action, he is going to take a 5-foot step to the southeast.
All right, and that'll give us Kira's turn.
My personal sensibilities, having grown up in the 90s playing video games, says save all your battery charges for the very last boss fight. But my Pathfinder sensibility says I have a magic weapon now, and also it's a chainsaw. So that feels pretty tempting to just cleave through a couple of those guys. Cleave with a lowercase c, because there's like also a move thing. I can't do that one yet. It takes an action to turn on, right? I would argue that you could use a chainsaw even without it being on, just as like a bludgeoning
Probably
weapon.
like as a club.
Yeah, okay, so she will pull that out, and is it like a pull situation? Is there a button?
It's an electric chainsaw. It's a button.
Great, okay, so she
Probably got to
pushes
figure out like the safety latch and the handbrake and... Oh, if the chain fell off, you're going to have to...
It's a whole situation.
Yeah, you forgot to oil it.
Yeah, so when you do that, that's an standard action, right? So I still have a move?
If you drew it, that would be your move equivalent
Oh,
at
that's
least.
true, yeah.
Oh, fair. Okay. Can
So
I
you could
5-foot
5-foot
step? Yeah, I just don't want to be in anyone's way. But I feel like that's going to be inevitable. So I'm just going to slide over here so people can shoot into that room.
Poltergeist number red is going to... Let's see, it's going to just kind of float, do a little floaty-do for a better angle. And then I'm just going to... Let's see, it's going to... Since it can see Asher across the way there, it's going to just do a quick telekinesis.
I'm like right here.
Throw some junk. You're hard to see, though, from its angle. It can see straight across the hall.
6'2".
Yeah, that's just a 12. So I'm assuming that doesn't hit Asher.
No, none of his ACs are that low.
But I might just have to real quick roll a D100. Alright, you're fine.
Oh, cool.
Tell him about that.
And
I did. I'm fine.
yeah, you're fine. And number green is gonna float on out here into the hallway, and it's gonna do a little telekinesis on Kira. That's a natural 19 for a 22.
Ooh.
Yep, no, that'll do it. All of the ACs.
Right. Where is the...
Probably should have remembered that rage thing. The number of sticky notes that I have for myself is just growing rapidly.
Well,
We
now
see
I just
you, Jordan, from Find the Path.
have to roll a quick D100 here, and okay, you're fine.
Yay.
So, it's just a little 7 damage as it hurls a piece of space junk at you. Stabs you up pretty good.
For 7.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good for space junk.
It's pretty good for Brixby.
And then Vargas is up.
Vargas, I guess, is gonna go punch a ghost. Let's see. So if I go, that's gonna be blocking Asher. I don't want to block Asher from... So you know what? He's actually not going to move at all yet. First, he's going to cast Long Arm on himself while he's still far away and doesn't have to roll concentration. And then he is going to move in kind of a U shape. Use up all 30 feet of movement to get over here. Oh wait, Kira's right there. I couldn't see her from inside the room. Actually, I guess he'll just go 20 feet. Oh wait, no, that's not. This wall is in a very inconvenient spot.
Well, you can stand there and sort of punch out into the hallway.
Okay.
It gets covered.
So with my long arm, can I reach this one that I can kind of see here?
Yeah.
I can't hit him this turn, but okay. So that is where he will stop then. So cast a spell and then moved up there. And by up there, for the folks at home, I'm standing in the doorway into the coffin room, kind of wedged up against the doorway in the hallway.
All right, and Ghost Number Blue is going to throw some crap at Vargas. So first things first, I'm guessing a 13 does not hit.
It does not.
All right.
Actually, it's it's regular AC, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it does not.
And you're fine on the D100, getting lucky on these D100s. So Asher's up.
All right. It's going to be a slow firing weapon. We're going to launch this +1 auto grapnel straight ahead at... I can't see the color from this angle, but the ghost that is 25 feet
That's
north
red.
of Asher. Number red, as you called him. Them, sorry. And I'm going to roll this ice cream dice Neapolitan D20 at number red. That'll be a 14 on the dice for a 25 against touch AC.
Why don't you roll a mischance?
Okay. How about an 11?
It's not very good.
Oh no. Okay. Well, that happened. And that was a full round action to fire. So maybe next time before we explore ghosts, I'll take the time to get my weapon enchanted. End of turn.
All right, Brixby.
Man, Yeah, I'm gonna do it. For all the fans at home, I am going to ghost whip the whip. In the words of the famous Bay Area bard, Mac Dre. So he casts Ghost Whip, a translucent whip with the ability to touch a ghost appears in his hand. And he's gonna Comfort Swarm with Asher. 5-foot step Comfort Swarm.
That's always fun. All right, Kira's turn.
Yeah, so Kira's been fiddling with her new chainsaw, just as others have been making moves and doing things. But now has it ready, so standing there, and according to the flavor text, this thing that is often used by lunatics and those who wish to intimidate their something or other, which feels specific and maybe slightly problematic, is standing there holding this. Like, this is so cool. Additional flavor text I don't think she notices, but like up to her elbow on her left arm, like all of these the tattoos that she has are like glowing, like if she was casting something, but she's not. She's just holding a +1 magic weapon that's a chainsaw. I can't see where anyone is, so I'm just gonna step up and reblock people. Take this 5-foot step, and I'm gonna go to number green, and then okay, that is also helpful in seeing other people. Let's take out number green. First roll for my magic chainsaw. Really wanted that to be a 20. It's a 13 plus 11 though. So let's call that a 24 to hit. Does a 24 hit the ghost? Oh, do I have to roll a thing? Wait, do I have to roll a thing? I'm gonna stop
Yeah,
talking.
you got to roll that D100.
Great. That's fine. It's an 84.
All right, you got a hit. Roll some damage.
I'm gonna take all 3 of these d6 and roll those. Yes. What a delight. Love this game. Congratulations, us. Oh gosh, that's such a low number. 6, 7, 20. Oh, well, I'll take it. 20 points of damage.
And that does get divided by 2 because you're hitting an incorporeal creature. But that's still a huge chunk. It's looking fadey.
Yeah, Kira just screams, "Ghost fight!" It's not wise, but also the chainsaw, like, already attracts attention, so it's fine.
I believe you get another attack.
Oh my gosh, that's right! Yes. Oh, how exciting! Because it was just the 5-foot step, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Happy Tuesday. Oh, that's lower. That's a, I don't know about this one. 9, 13. Does a 13 hit?
Roll mischance. These things are not made of AC.
That is true. Real facts. Nice. That's a 95.
All right. Hits again.
Take another 3d6. I love it. And no gravity clip. That's just a giant chainsaw of a GC, as they're called in the... somewhere. I'm told 8, 5, 13, 26 points of damage. Or 13 points of damage, I guess.
That's the ghost dies sound from Secret of Mana.
By ghost.
Wait, how does a ghost die? No, I mean, like, philosophically, like, what?
No, that was it. That's the answer.
How does this work?
It disperses for 2d4 days.
Let's devote the rest of the pod to the philosophical ramifications of a ghost dying. I think Jiro's right.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be back.
It's the sound of one hand clapping.
If we didn't already have such a perfect episode title.
Aww,
What's the sound of one ghost dying?
Heartbreaking. That's my turn.
Alright, some junk gets thrown at Kira. That is gonna be an 8.
Sorry.
Alright, you're good. Vargas is up.
Right. Well, the ghost Vargas is going to attack has just been killed with a chainsaw. Which, that's a new sentence. Let's see, I'm not actually moving yet. I'm just trying to see around this hallway. Okay. So he is going to step out and... let's see. Oh, there's 2 in here. Well, I already committed. I wouldn't have been able to see that other ghost until after I moved, so... yeah, no, this is a stupid idea. And I'm still there. I'm just counting how many steps this is. So he is going to take 2 attacks of opportunity from these ghosts if they feel like taking them in order to get right here in the side of this room.
Alright, they can't physically attack. They can only use telekinesis, so no
Nice.
AOs.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Run right by him.
Then he is going to smack at ghost number red. And that is not great. I probably should have swift actioned to increase my arm and made it better, but I didn't. So that is a 14 against regular AC.
Roll mischance.
Oh, okay. Find my D100. 99.
Alright. Roll damage.
9 points of damage. It's only going to be half of that, though, so 4 points of damage.
Alright, still looks like you did some damage to red. It's a little bit mad now.
And that'll be his turn.
Alright, blue is gonna just do a 5-foot float back to get out of melee with Kira so she doesn't get an AOO when it telekinetically throws a rock at Vargas for punching its brother. That is a 14.
Which square did it start in?
Yeah, the one you
Oh no,
pointed
it was
at.
this one back here, wasn't it? This one.
Yeah.
If I can ping that one. Okay, never mind.
So,
What was it to hit?
It was a 14.
No.
Okay, so it missed you. That's the good news. The bad news is what it just threw was a concussion grenade. So,
Oh, that's what those rolls are for, to see what the object getting chucked at us is.
yeah, I'm gonna need reflex saves from Vargas, Kira, and the poltergeists are fine because it's physical damage.
Grenades aren't considered magical.
Not these ones.
Oh, that's very bad.
So what did Vargas get on that reflex save?
A natural 2 for a 6.
That's gonna be a fail. How about Kira?
16.
16 is a pass. So Kira's gonna take half, and this is 18 damage. So 9 damage for Kira and 18 for Vargas, as a grenade was among the pieces of garbage that the poltergeist threw. And, it's Asher's turn.
Man, somewhere Bruno Mars is just missing out on this opportunity. Asher will, as a standard action, you're listening, right? Retract the auto-grapnel, and then as a move action, reattach it to its barrel. So that was a complete turn to reload this slow-firing weapon. What a piece of loot, eh? That's the whole turn. I don't want to mess up the comfort swarm. I'm just going to stay put.
Alright, Brixby, comfortable though you may be in Asher Square, it is your turn.
Indeed, and I'm going to leave this comfort with a 5-foot step to the north, putting me within 15 feet of, I can't see the color on this one, but the one that I'm pinging right here. Vargas, are you also threatening this one with your long arm?
Yes,
Excellent.
I am. Yeah, because I threatened 10 feet.
Yeah, we some long boys threatening over here. So, I am proficient. This is excellent. So, with flanking, making me wait for it. That's a 21.
Alright, that'll hit. Why don't you roll mischance?
Come on. Yar, it's an 80. I don't know why I
Nice.
was just excited about that in a piratical way, but I was. It's cool. It's canon. So, Brixby, atop the bulkhead. No. So he grabs his whip, whips forward, makes contact. Now here comes the big initial hit here. And don't you worry, this is lethal. Surprise, it won't roll my... Nope. Yep, there we go. There's my 1d2. So yeah, my 1d2 minus 1, I rolled a 2, so there's 1 there. But I guess at this level, kind of burying the lead, because there's also... Jeez, I rolled terrible. I was going to say 3d6 of sneak attack, but I literally just rolled 2 1s and a 3. So, combined into 2, it is 6 points of lethal damage, as this is a ghost touch weapon.
Yeah, it doesn't get halved, that's the good news. But the dead creature is still undead.
Mark Mother's Bow, you failed me. I was told that all I had to do was whip it. Possibly even whip it good, but... That's my turn.
Well, let's roll forward and move ahead to Kira's turn.
Kira's going to take a 5-foot step forward. And will she be able to tell with the layman's eye which of these ghosts is like more bad ghost looking?
Are you a ghost doctor?
More ghosted up.
Approaching ghosthood faster.
Malevolent.
I think you have seen the one directly in front of you getting ghost punched up.
That's true. It's also the one within range of
Yeah, I mean, you could 5-foot step down.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I don't, if that feels valid to you. When I was standing in the doorway, I can't technically see that ghost, so...
Yeah, that's just because the map just kind of.
Great. All right, so I'll 5-foot step toward the little guy on the east here, just jam up in Blue's face. I'm gonna go ahead and get him with the chainsaw. Oh, chainsaw.
Which one are you chainsawing first?
The blue.
Okay.
Blue guy. That's going to be. Oh, you know what? Just gonna we're gonna rage that first. We step forward, we're gonna rage. I will not take my bonus on that one because I didn't say it until afterward, but that's going to be 16, 25, 27 to hit.
You have mischance?
That is only a 30 something that time, so I'm sad and defeated. I'm gonna try again. 23 to hit.
Same as the first verse.
Yep. That is another 30. Okay, well, or do nothing.
Terrible.
That's me.
Alright, what do we got here? Sadly, there's not really anywhere for these things to go. To not be threatened. So I think red is it'll float on towards Vargas, so it can only get AOL'd once at least. So Vargas, you can take a swing.
A 16 on the die, so that's a hit.
Yep.
Wait, did it take a 5-foot step?
A 5-foot float.
Okay, cool.
Oh, if it was a 5 foot, then it doesn't provoke.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's now attacking with a.
Oh, so
range
the
attack.
provoke is from it attacking. Okay,
It might
yeah, because
be
it's
from
throwing something from melee range. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say Brixby doesn't get one.
That is 6 points of damage.
Did you do the mischance?
Actually, no, 3 points because it's got to be halved.
Did you?
And the mischance is. Okay, there's the hundreds. Where's the 10? I just set it down. There it is. Ooh, 36. Is it a 50% or a 25%?
It's a 50. So.
Okay, then that's a miss.
All right. Well, now he's throwing stuff. And it's a natural 19. So
Yeah, that's gonna be a hit.
let's see. All right, you're okay there. It's just gonna be 4 bludgeoning damage as it throws some random crap from the floor at you. And then it's your turn.
Okay. Since I'm standing right here, he is first swift action, going to empower his arm. Then he is going to cast defensively to cast Arcane Mark. That is a 19 on the die, so got that. So swing at him with that. That is an 8 on the die, but plus 8 is a 16. Oh wait, no, plus 9 because I get plus 2 from that now. So that's a 17.
Yep, roll
That is
mischance.
a hit. Oh, mischance. Yeah. Keep rolling the damage first. It's a different D100 set. Nope, 33. So now just for the regular bludgeoning, now that I've wasted that one. That's a 19. Mischance is 35. Okay, let me go find a third D100 because I am out of moves. I cannot hit this ghost.
Sadly, Blue is stuck in a corner here. So, no matter what it does, Kira's gonna get an AOO.
Sure will. Oh! That's an 18, which is one of those things.
Oh, a critical threat.
Critical threat.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you all for knowing the words that are correct and good. All right. Okay, so I just leave this one, and then I roll it again. And if it would be a hit, and we're good. And these things have no, it's fine. Oh, and I have a plus 13. I'll be fine. This is great. This is already great. Oh, thank God. I was really concerned it was going to be a 1. It's not. It's an 8, which is not good, but is still 21.
Yeah, that's plenty to confirm, but I do
So
still need
much
that
damage.
mischance.
I forgot about the mischance. It's fine. Going to use a different D100 this time. For luck. That is a 17, which is so sad. So I guess I'll just keep on rolling other dice.
Well, it rolls an 8 to hit you with the telekinesis, so that's no good. And wasn't a bomb this time, so not exciting.
Great. So it's moot.
But it's Asher's turn.
Asher will, as a super slow fire, he can't actually move into the room and fire because it's a full round action, and he can't initiate swarming, so he'll just fire over Brixby at Red, who's going to have some cover, really beefing up that AC. Okay, so the hit is fine. It's a 27 against touch. I think even with, unless it gets extreme ghost cover, good. Let's roll that mischance.
Most doorways do like a plus 15 cover.
Oh man.
It still hits. Weirdly.
That's a 95. Yeah.
All right.
So this +1 auto grapnel is going to do a D8 plus 8. So 11 points of damage halved, I'm sure. Might be enough to finish off Red.
Yeah, Red's gone. It disappears as the magical spike.
And because I hit with a ranged weapon, people within 10 feet of me will get the benefits of precise shot, even though you're using a whip. It's never been helpful once, and I'm just someday.
Oh, someday. It definitely will be helpful someday for sure.
For
So
sure.
Brixby's going to throw the whip. How do I make my 1d2 ghost whip less effective? Let's see. Speaking of which, speaking of less effective, Brixby's going to step into the room, step to full complement of his 20 feet of movement to the furthest corner of the room beside Vargas. Just for folks at home, Kira is in front of this poltergeist, but because Kira is a substantial person and not a ghost and not my target, she does not provide any soft cover. So I get to whip on through. You get maybe that weird tickle feeling of like, ooh, as the ghost whip passes through your body to whip the ghost.
That's creepy.
So, rolling for whipping. Ooh, that's a 15.
A 15 will hit. Roll mischance.
Ooh. Let's see. No dice with a 15. Again, but on the hundreds die. So, Brixby. And that's my turn.
All right. Kira, you're up. You're standing in this thing's face. Can you finish the fight?
I would like to do just a little more damage, please. Oh gosh, that is 4 plus 13, 17 to hit, which is not great, but is enough. Oh, thank goodness, 74.
All right.
It's much less satisfying now that I've tasted a crit almost. 3d6, but I will still take the 3d6. It's fine. Let's roll that one again. 5, 9, hang on. 16, 25 points of ghost damage. Have to, let's call it a soft 12.
All right. That looks like it did a big number on blue, but it's still up.
Well, still have a thing left because we're level 6 now. 16 plus, what did I say it was? 6, 22 to hit. And I'm going to do the sad thing again. Here we go. So fun. 96.
All right. You got a hit.
2, 6, 12, and 16. 28, 14 points of smoosh.
right, 14 points of smoosh is enough to dissipate the final poltergeist. Everything goes clattering to the floor, but not in an explodey way. The fight is over. And that seems like a good time to go to bed.
Night, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Night, Sam.
Pod against the machine. Against the machine.
Pod Against the Machine is property of its creators, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are properties of Paizo Publishing. Please visit them at paizo.com for more information. Theme Against the Machine written and performed by our own Zach. Please consult the show notes for additional music and sound effect licensing information. And let's see, we're gonna pop you up to another map as you come.
I lost Scooby.
Ruh-roh.
Roinks, Racky. This is moderate. I give myself a 4.5.
Oh, you sell yourself short.
Yeah, 4.5 out of. Oh, okay.
No, that wasn't my scale. I was adjusting myself.
Not
That's
a
out of the
48
standard
out of 55.
5.5 Scooby-Doo impersonation scale.
A solid 4.5.
The Hanna-Barbera metric for short. Yeah, there we go. That's the word.